Welcome class. We're going to watch our very first video, see how this works for you guys. The first lesson is going to be over adding and subtracting integers, so it's going to be a big review. We're going to start with adding integers. First thing we'll look at are the rules. Keep in mind, when you are looking at two numbers, you need to pay attention to their signs. If they are both negative, you will add and keep the same sign. For example, -6 plus -3. They both have a negative, so we are going to go ahead and add them and keep it negative. So the answer would be -9. Same thing's true if they had both been positive. We would go ahead and add them, and it would be a +9. Next rules, what if they have different signs? If that had been a -6 and a +3, we have one negative and one positive. They're different. Different means subtract. So we find the difference between 6 and 3. The difference is 3. And then we look back. Which one did we have more of? We have more negative than we have positive. So our answer will stay negative. So the answer is -3. We're going to go ahead and look at a few more examples before we move on to subtraction. -4 plus -5. Both numbers are negative. That means same signs. We're going to add them and keep the same sign. Next examples, 10 and plus -6. The 10 is a positive. The 6 is a negative. Now we see different signs. So the difference of 10 and 6 is 4. And then we have more positive this time than we have negative, so our answer will stay positive. Next example, -6 plus -7. The 6 is negative, so is the 7. Same signs again. We will add them and keep the same sign. Once you begin negative, you stay negative. Next example, -7 plus 10. The 7, negative. The 10, positive. Different signs. We find the difference. The difference of 10 and 7 is 3. And we have more positive than we have negative. The 10 is the bigger absolute value, so the answer remains positive. And let's do a couple more examples before we move to subtraction. 12 is a positive number. 24 is a negative number. The difference of 12 and 24, we'll just subtract them and we get 12. Which one do we have more negative of? It would be the 24. So the answer stays negative. Last example for adding. -8 is negative. +6, positive. We see different signs again. Find the difference. 8 and 6 is 2. We have more negative than positive, so our answer stays negative. Now we're going to move on to subtracting integers. Let's review those rules real quick. First thing I want you to do is when you look at a problem with integers, identify the sign in front of the number. The subtraction sign is the same as a negative. So you're going to hear me refer to the sign in front of numbers as a negative, not always subtracting. If there are two negatives, you're going to cancel them to make a positive, just like the example. Two negatives equal a positive. 8 minus -7 is actually going to combine. You can combine them and write a big plus in the middle, and it's 8 plus 7. And the same thing over here, -12 minus a -3 is actually -12 plus 3. So now you have different signs, and you'll subtract and take the sign of the bigger number. Once you've identified what signs are in front of each number, you follow the addition rules. So the addition rules are still here. You just have to find out what the signs are in front of each number. We're going to do a little exercise real quick to practice identifying the sign in front of the number. The 23, obviously negative. The 41, it's a negative. 32, negative. And yes, it's negative because look at the sign right in front of it. That is also a negative. You can say subtract 32 or negative 32. It is the same thing. This one, 46, has two negatives in front of it. So those cancel and make a positive. So that's actually a positive number. 13 has a positive in front. 71, again, it has a negative in front of it. So it's the sign right in front of it. So that's a negative 71. The 10 has a negative in front of it. If this plus had been a negative, then it would become a positive 10. But there's only one negative, so it stays a negative 10. And then the 65, two negatives. So they become positive. It's a positive 65. Let's do a few examples real quick. In this case, you're going to see the same digits in each problem, but you're going to get 4 different answers because of the signs. Right here we have a negative 4 and a negative 16. Same signs. We add them. 14 plus 16 is 20, and we keep the same sign. Remember, identify the signs first, then use your addition rules. The 4 is a positive. The 16 is a negative. Different signs. So we find the difference of 4 and 16, which is 12. And we take the sign of the bigger looking number, or the number with the biggest absolute value. In this case, we have 4, which is positive. This 16 is also positive because 2 negatives make a positive. So now we go ahead and add them, and we keep the same sign, so it stays positive. This problem, we have a negative 4 and a positive 16. Different signs, subtract, and keep the sign of the bigger number so it stays positive. A couple more examples. Negative 7 minus 10. Identify the signs. We have a negative 7 and a negative 10. So we have same signs. We actually add these two, and it becomes negative 17 because they keep the same sign. This problem, we have a negative 19 and a positive 3. We end up with different signs. So we're going to find the difference of 19 and 3, which is 16. And we keep the sign of the number that looks biggest, or the biggest absolute value, which is 19. So it stays negative. 2 more. 15 is positive. 4 is also positive because 2 negatives make a positive. So we have 15 and 4, same signs. Add them, positive 19. In this problem, 6 is positive. 23 is negative. It has a negative in front. Different signs. So now we're going to do 23 minus 6. And what do we get? 17. And now the 17 will remain negative because there's more negative 23 numbers than positive 6 numbers. That will end the adding and subtracting lesson. I hope you were able to understand the video, and I hope you enjoyed it.